Page 83, Barbara Allen. Let's look it over and see what we got here. We're going to be playing in the key of D major for a while. It's 1 page long, treble and bass clef, 2 sharps in the key signature. It's in the key of D major. We haven't had the key of B minor yet, so I'm not talking about that yet. We'll get it eventually. Because it also has 2 sharps. Right now it's D major. Make sure you're doing the scale for D major. 3/4 time signature. Let's take it one hand at a time. This looks a little messy. Right hand starts here. Don't forget the C sharp. It's in the key signature. It's 1 and 2 and 3. Now those A's, all 3 of those A's are tied together. See, they can only tie 2 notes at a time. And this is how they do it. They chain them. So that first A is going to be held down all through the next measure. So it's again 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then go on. It's like a D major scale. That's all we did, more or less. Doesn't mean it's fingering for it. Just wasn't straight. Okay, and then pick up to measure 5 because you'll notice the last measure, the first line, only has 2.5 counts. 1 and 2 and 3 come up on beat 3. That's the rest, and then the end of 3 is next. And they split the measure. I don't care for that, but that's what they did. So okay. So pick up to measure 5. It's and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then a couple beats rest and a couple D's, and then going up here, measure 8, going into measure 9, the C sharp. And 1 and 1. Crunch up, use 4th finger. So we're moving around a little bit based on what the music needs, that's all. Going on, stay there. It's 1, 2. And I suggest for measure 12, rather than here, just reach up and do a 2, 5. So what we have here, all these notes and measures 11 and 12. Here, here, here. If they'd add the A, they would have the full D chord in extended position because the octaves. That's the fingering. So that's fingering I'm going to use here. It's here and then here. I didn't move. I like that. It comes in handy in a lot of pieces. You don't have to keep moving around. And then the measure, or pick up to the last 2 measures again. Just a D major scale going down. So once you're comfortable playing the scale, you get the stuff in the music, you just do it. Left hand, well, you're up here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and again, it's a D major scale. 1 and 2 and 3 and measure 5. 1, 2, rest. It's broken chord, broken D chord is all it is. Pick up to measure 7. Rest, rest. Come up. Here. And then lift up for the rest. And then now you're up here. Come down. Rest. I'd rather not. So I don't want to cross over the thumb. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't want to do it. So I'm going to say, rather than thumb on the A, reach up 2. I got all those notes in one hand position. It comes in handy in a lot of pieces. So again, pick up to measure 11. Now go on. Measure 13. Just the D major scale, and then the last one you're down here. You don't want to be up in here, do here. I don't know how big your hands are. So we put the hands together carefully. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So just count it out carefully, it works. And going on. 1 and 2 and 3 and right there. Let's be accurate. The left hand has a rest on beat 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1 and 2 and 3. That holds down and then rest. rest. Now on measure 6, both hands rest on beat 3, or the first half of beat 3, and then the left hand plays on the end of 3. So the 1 and 2 and 3 and. Right hand comes. Look out on measure 8. 8 is 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that comes on the end of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Be careful on that one. Again, measure 10. Both hands rest for beat 3. 2 and 3. Rest. So count this out carefully. Go slow as you need to go. I tend to go a bit fast because I want to shorten the video up. But you can go really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. However fast you gotta go or slow you gotta go, it's fine. What's important is that you get the notes on the right beat or half of the beat, whichever it is. Then you go back through it and carefully get rid of any hesitations. So those eighth note pulses are steady all the way through. And then we can think about the articulation. The first line's all connected. It's the introduction. You see the double bars at the end, that's an introduction. The song starts with pick up to measure 5. Here, and this is connected. Lift up. Yeah, measure 8. Lift up. Like taking a breath. Staccato. That, I don't know why, but it's staccato on measure 11. I lift up at measure 14 because that's like a new phrase, I guess. That's what's marked. And once I have the articulation sort of under control, I'll think about the dynamics. MF at the beginning, and it's going to be both hands at this introduction. Sort of loud. You stay in there in the melody. These chords need to be soft. You don't have to stay moderately loud through the whole thing. Once you get into it and you start feeling the music, if you feel getting a little louder and softer in places, do it. I got a little softer at the end. Come down at the end, it's the end of it. But you can experiment with the dynamics and see how you feel them. For instance, the second line, pick up. Maybe that's the first phrase. Maybe on the next phrase, I'll play it a little louder. And come down a little bit. You know, experiment with it, because it's like a statement and a reply. Statement. Reply. Statement. Reply. It's just different ways of interpreting the music, of looking at it and imagining how it might go. You experiment. Speed, moderato, I think that's about where I've been going. The eighth notes, I want to slow it down a little bit, but then, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But you don't want the eighth notes to go too fast. I'm sure there's words to this. There's none in this particular arrangement, but if you were going to sing it, how fast would you sing it? Yeah. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 3 counts. I'm not going to do any louds and softs, so I'm going to play it all about the same. 1 and ready and go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. 3 and 3. 2 and 3. And 3. And 3. And 2. And 3.